Hey guys, it's Tori. Welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I know it's been a while. Summer just ended. It was a busy summer getting the kids back to school, so I'm ready to start pumping out some videos. In today's video, I am going to sublimate a tumbler. I'm going to do step by step and share some good hacks, and also going to do a giveaway. So stay to the end so you can get the details on how you can win the tumbler that I'm going to make in today's video. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to head on over to Canva, and I'm going to use the free edition. And what we'll want to do is click on custom size. And the tumbler that I'm going to sublimate today is a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler. First is change pixels to inches, and then the dimensions for that tumbler, and again it's a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler, is 8.6 by 9.6, and create new design. I am going to do a Minnie mouse today because this is such a cute picture. It's so colorful and I think it'll turn out really nice. So what you'll want to do is just insert the image, and you'll want to just kind of stretch it out. And then we need to rotate the image. And the reason that we are rotating the image is because we want the image to be a portrait size, so it wraps all the way around the tumbler. If you don't rotate it, then that is going to be printed as a landscape and it will not wrap all the way around the tumbler. So we want to do that and then stretch it out. I like to have a little bit of space at the bottom and at the top, if you see, like under Minnie's feet and then above her bow, just so I have some wiggle room when I put it on the tumbler. Next, we want to flip it. So we're going to go ahead and flip that. And that is because it's the same thing. When you flip it, it's the same thing as mirroring the image, because since we're going to wrap it on, if you don't mirror it, obviously it would be backwards. So next we're going to click share, download, and I'm going to change the file type to a PDF print, which is best for printing, and download, and we're going to save it to the desktop. Next, you'll want to go ahead and open the PDF that you just saved, and we'll want to go to File, Print, and then I need to change the printer to my Sublimation printer, which is my Epson ET 2720 that I converted to a sublimation printer. I'll leave a link below if you're interested in knowing how to do that. It's super easy and it was really inexpensive. It was an inexpensive printer to convert into a sublimation printer. Then you want to make sure that you leave the sizing as the actual size. Next, we're going to go in Properties. I already have mine defaulted to legal because that is the sublimation paper I'm going to use is a legal size. So that's already there. Paper type, want to pick a premium type paper that fits the paper that you're using. So I am using premium presentation paper matte. And then the quality, you always want to have it as a high quality since you want it to have the best color and all that kind of stuff. And then I just uncheck everything, like I don't need collate. And you also want to make sure that the rotate and high speed and mirror are not checked because we already flipped it in Canva. And then I'm going to go to advanced. If you're using an Epson printer, for the color controls, I do Adobe RGB, Gamma 2.2, and then you just adjust the color controls at the bottom to your liking, and then we'll hit OK and OK. Before we hit print, I wanted to tell you that I'm using the Hippo sublimation paper. It is 8.5 by 14. And if you are new to sublimating, on my printer, and I'm sure it's the same, knock on wood, with other printers, but the way that you insert the paper, if you're looking at the sublimation paper, it's white on one side, and then the other side, it says Hippo all across the back, like a watermark almost. And I also had other paper where it's blue on the back. You want to face the white side up, and then the image, as far as like the hippo or the watermark or whatever, the blue goes face down. So when it runs through the printer, it's going to print on the white side. So just wanted to tell you that because I know sometimes it's a little confusing, and I've wasted paper and printed it on the wrong side. And you're also wasting ink and it takes so long to print. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in and then we're going to hit print. First thing is, this is the Sublimation toaster oven I'm going to use. What they recommend is setting it at 400, and I have mine over here. If you can, I think you can see, it says broil, warm, toast, and convection bake. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on convection bake, and then I'm going to turn it on because you want to preheat the toaster oven for at least 15 minutes before you use it. So that's super important. So now is a good time to go ahead and preheat while we go ahead and prep the tumbler. And something I wanted to share with you about this is, if you are new to sublimating and you're not sure if it's your thing, I know that these can be very expensive. And I actually have bought 2 of these from like the local Goodwill or a thrift store. I think the first one I bought was like $7, and this one I want to say was $15, which you cannot beat that, because if you're not sure you want to sublimate, why invest all that money? So I would recommend trying like your local thrift store if you don't want to spend a lot. Once you use it to sublimate anything, you have to stick with that as sublimation. You cannot go back and use it for food or anything like that because it can be very harmful. So just wanted to let you know. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn it on. We're going to set the timer for 15 minutes. This just came off the Sublimation printer, and if you'll see, it looks kind of faded, and that's totally normal because once you sublimate it, it pops, the color pops out, and that's how that works. So we're going to go ahead and just cut the excess off, and if you want to use your Cricut maker, you can do so. I'm just going to cut it by hand. Let's go ahead and cut some of this off as well. You can leave it there if you want. Actually, I'm going to leave the top because it's just a guide, so you'll just want to make sure that that part doesn't touch the mug. And I'm going to do this side as well, and then just leave the top. And you want to also make sure that you try not to touch the sublimation paper. Obviously, you do have to touch it. You don't want to get any oils or lotion or anything that you have on your hands onto the picture. So that's why we do that. This aside, and get the tumbler you're going to use. And I'm going to take the lid off. And this one actually comes with the shrink wrap that you need. And we need to make sure to clean it first. So I'm just going to use rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to pour some on here. If you don't have rubbing alcohol, you can always use a lint roller. But I like to use alcohol. I think it works really well. And just want to clean it really good. Once you do that, you want to dry it really well. And then again, make sure you try to not touch this so you don't have any oils or lotions that get onto the tumbler. Now we are ready to apply the image. You want to make sure that you place it the right side up. I've done that before where I wasn't paying attention and Mickey was or Minnie or whatever the image was upside down. So you just want to make sure it's the right side up. And then I like to lay it down and just kind of make sure that everything, the feet are on there and the bow and everything. You also want to make sure that it is even throughout. So like this should line up with each other. The paper should line up even. And you also want to pull it very tightly. We're going to use sublimation tape and tape it. So as you're pulling this really tight, I am just taping this down right here. Then I'm going to take this and just fold it over right there. And we're going to turn it up here, push this all down. This will look just like that for now. Then I'm going to flip this back over and I'm going to use the sublimation tape and just pull this over. It's important to make sure that the sublimation paper is pressed firmly against the tumbler. Then I'm going to just kind of go around here, place the tape half on the paper and then fold it over so it is secure. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to take a little tape and push this down and then do the exact same thing where I just go half and half around. So half up like this and fold it over. when you sublimate, very important, everything that you use for sublimating has to be meant for sublimating. So this tumbler is a sublimation tumbler. The tape I'm using is sublimation tape. And the printer and the ink has to be meant for sublimation. And then we're going to use shrink wrap, and this is meant for sublimation. Then we will go ahead and open the shrink wrap and place this in here. And I have it right in the center, if you can kind of see, so it's half and half. So let's go ahead and turn the heat gun on and melt the shrink wrap. So this is what it should look like when you are done. And it's okay if you accidentally get like a little rip or tear. That one is actually not a rip or a tear. Usually I do get them. But that's okay if that happens. And I just try to make this as smooth as possible, just so I know that it's firmly or securely snug. The next step is putting your heat-resistant gloves on. It's important to lay parchment paper down on the rack, because if you don't, the shrink wrap is going to melt and it will end up sticking to your rack, and you'd rather it stick to parchment paper than ruin your rack. I am going to place this in here, and we are going to sublimate for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it and do the other side. So now it is time to rotate it. Make sure you have your heat resistant gloves on. Turn it over. Set the timer for 3 more minutes, and it's time to turn it off and take it out. When you remove the shrink wrap and the sublimation paper, you can do it when it's hot, you can do it when it's cold. It's really up to you and what your preference is. Wow, this is awesome. Awesome. Love it. This looks really nice, you guys. Isn't that so cute? Now, if you notice, I did make a little bit of mistake here. I recommend not cutting the white off at the bottom, and that was my mistake because I think I made it a little bit, actually you can hardly tell. If you hold it like this, you can hardly tell. But if you're gonna hold it like that, you will. So you can hardly tell when it's like that. But I think I would have left the white on instead of cutting it. So here is the scoop for the giveaway. First, I am going to post it on my YouTube, and I'm also going to post the giveaway on TikTok and on my Instagram. In order to enter the giveaway, you have to do it on my YouTube page. So you have to comment below and let me know why you want to win. And you also have to like the video, and you have to share the video. That's it, guys. That's all you have to do. You have until August 28th to enter before 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.